AM Neighborhood Restoration Beautification Commission. I'll start with roll call.
Lucas Richardson.
Here.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Here.
Kathleen Grabowski.
Here.
Mary Kay Wilkosh.
Here.
Public comment on agenda-related items. Seeing none. The approval of this agenda.
I'll
Any
approve.
comments? Motion from Mary.
Lucas Richardson.
Yes.
Jermaine Sullivan.
Yes.
Kathleen Grabowski.
Yes.
Mary Kay Wilkosh.
Yes.
Okay, unfinished business, debrief of the June 1st Casman cleanup. It looks like I got a letter. Is this from?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll read that later. I didn't.
Well, it's not a letter, it's just a thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Well, I think it
I-
went very well.
I think it went well.
You know, the
Yeah.
painting looks nice, and they did a nice Facebook.
That was a nice final touch to it.
It's a lot of work and a lot of people coming together to get some,
Right.
shedding some sweat to make it look a lot nicer for that neighborhood, that community, so,
Right.
Yep.
hats off to you guys, it was not an easy task.
I think it was positive in that direction, so.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
we had a
everybody's-
guy stop and say thank you.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And if you have any more pictures, I know I've got a few pictures from Mary and Jermaine. If you have any more, just send those to me soon, and I'll make sure we get a social media post out for that.
Perfect, yeah.
I think the only thing that we probably could do better, I know we had 15 volunteers, which is awesome. But we just gotta keep pushing that envelope of getting more volunteers on our crew, so that way eventually we're finding a bunch of projects and then pushing volunteers towards certain projects and having a lot more projects. We're only gonna be more successful with more volunteers.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think we have discussed it before, just having one project manager be in charge of it, have one person in charge, having them
Yeah.
huddle up before, making sure waivers, equipment assignments. And that one person who's in charge, just kind of be in charge all day. What do you need? Do you need water? Do you need vest? Help facilitate that. So if we have a group over here and a group over here, everyone knows what they're doing, and we're all kind of organized and maximize efficiency. That's kind of my brain work. So I would recommend that. Whoever wants to be in charge, and kind of go that way.
Yeah, and speaking of that too, that's later on the agenda, but Mary's gonna be in charge of the next community service day, and then myself in July, and then Kathy in August, and then if we have a new member by September, they'll be in charge of that one.
Perfect.
All right,
So I have October then, if we are,
Yeah.
otherwise, okay.
Yep. Okay. Any more comments on debrief?
I think so.
Okay. Social media posting, so I know we've sent out a couple things so far on the website, and I put both of them in the same post that Jermaine sent, and
Should have separate.
I was supposed to have separate ones, so that was my fault.
I'll send you some items.
Some items.
Where is our social media?
I think
Is it on?
Through the city.
Oh,
through the city.
okay.
So if you have anything, if you need help, let me know, but if not, we can just send those to Kelly and Mary, and just copy me on it, so
Okay.
I know what's going on.
Kelly McCall is great about pushing stuff out, and she's always looking for content, and she always does a great job, so I'm guessing she'll push out as much as this group wants to.
Yeah,
Do we have her email?
I can send that to you, yeah. I'll send the group.
Sure, it's Kay McCall.
Okay. New business, so community service day on the 8th, so Thursday, Mary's show.
Wait, so, I have a scope of the work, so anyway, this is what I put together for everybody, for your projects. You guys want them to?
Oh, yeah, please, thanks.
Awesome.
Okay, so, we can always tweak it, but I just put something together quickly. And I used this when I went to St. Joseph to meet with Don Digma. And we went over all the necessary items that he would like us to help. And so we broke it down to the parish center, and also the parking lot that's adjacent right across the street. And so we'll be doing, scope of work, so I can give you that also. This is, of course,
sorry.
this is what we're going to need as far as, items. I also spoke to him this morning on the way here because, the same day that we're going to have this will be the Clydesdales, which is Thursday. And so I spoke with Don this morning to see if he received any volunteers, if we should change the date, what should we do. Wants to keep it on the same date. He put it in the bulletin. It'd be too late to get it out of the bulletin and all of that stuff. So, so we're gonna move forward with that. He will have some volunteers there. The only thing that he doesn't have is their shed got broken into, so the power washers are gone and the snow blower or something. So anyway, if somebody has a power washer they could bring and an extra hose. He has one, possibly two.
Do we
And we
need
do
more
need
than just the one that we have
If-
on the commission?
If we can bring it, that would be great, and the hose is necessary too, because that would just get done quicker. So we have the scope of work, I'll just kind of go through it quickly. On the 6th, so anyway, let's just talk about this. So he gave us those two projects, and then if we wanted extra projects in the future, there's the church and their living quarters, because I broke it down that we couldn't do all of it at one time, you know, and maybe possibly in the future. So anyway, on the improvements to be made on the 6th Street Hill North parking lot, we're gonna trim around the fence, trim the bushes and the trees, paint the cement as you enter the parking lot to the right, so you'll have to just see when you go there. There's some graffiti on the back wall, we'll power wash that and blow out the entire parking lot. And then on the hall itself, starting at the front entrance, he wanted the steps and the stairwalk all power washed, trim trees in the front and the side of the hall, because you can't quite see when you go in. On the alley side, we're gonna clean, trim the flower beds along there, and then there's some poles that go down the alley. He wanted those painted brown, and then the doors that are on that side too. There is the long parking lot, power wash and pull the weeds from the wall, paint the base of the light pole, sidewalk, so there's a lot. There's some more power washing on Davis Street, rake the grass on Davis Street, pick up the black asphalt that's on the grass, cut any trees, and we have to paint the yellow step. So there is some work to be done. So as many volunteers as we possibly could find would really be appreciative. And I know Kathy's been working on it too, I've been calling, so, you know, if we can get at least maybe 15 people, maybe we could rock that out, I don't know.
Okay. Is that all, the scope that you had just read off, is that a different
It
document?
is, those are the items that we're gonna need, so if you have any of those items to bring,
Okay.
that would be great.
How tall are the trees that we be trimming?
We would probably just be able to use, do you have one of those elevated trimmers, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you bring that, I think we would be okay with that.
Oh, okay, they're not big branches or anything, okay.
Nope, but I do have some of these.
Okay, I got one of those.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. And then just paint the yellow strip, if you write that on the bottom of it. And that's going into the parish center. The yellow strip.
So most of this is geared on trying to beautify the parking lot and walkways and kind of exterior
Yeah,
building.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it'll look really nice for them, they're appreciative, and, you know, they have one woman that comes and helps, but, you know, they're gonna get some of the parishioners there, so I think, you know, that will be nice. When I was up to, the hardware store over the weekend, I spoke to Martha about the paint, the yellow paint, because it was really hard to spread on, and she said, if we had it left, we could bring it when we go get more paint, because she'll look at it to see if what she could do about it, shake it up again or replace it or something, because she said it shouldn't have been hard to spread at all. It should have been super simple. Super
Really?
easy.
Interesting.
We had some trouble spreading the paint.
The blue too.
Yes, the blue too. So we could take both of them back. Yep, absolutely, and she'll look at them for us.
You had to stand on your head to see every
Right.
spot.
So what I'm gonna do is I have a bid together already for items that we're gonna need as far as painting supplies. We just need to get the paint.
Okay.
And did you get
And
any
the-
luck with that? Paint?
I haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
But if we don't get the paint donated, is the church gonna purchase the paint?
No, I've already asked them that,
Okay.
yeah, so we'll have to purchase the paint, so
Which,
if we can go one of these days to purchase the paint.
Yeah, well,
so real quick, so the one thing about the supplies, which I think we're all on the same page, but I just want to reiterate that is, you know, as long as we're purchasing the supplies to be used on multiple projects, I think
Right.
that's totally fine, and that's what we are doing, because we're
Right.
gonna use a lot of leftover paint from previous projects.
Correct. Yep.
So I just want that said, but.
Right,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
the
just,
yellow,
it's gotta be spent for public property, not private property. We can't expend public funds for private property. But what I'm hearing is, I'm seeing some things here, alley side, looks like there's probably some right of way that's probably part of this project.
Yep.
correct.
We just can't use public funds to spend on private property.
Right, most of the project seems to be
Yeah,
volunteer
yeah.
based.
So it'd be great to kind of divvy up, say if the parishioners want to work on this part and then we can focus on that part, I think there's a path there. Make sure everything's appropriate, so.
Sure.
That would be for that neighborhood and for the amount of work that we are doing and continue to do as far as anti-blight with the houses. I think that would be nice, especially that corner there, Davis and Sixth Street corner, as you see from that neighborhood that we're trying to invest some time in. It'd be
Right.
great to clean that up to kind of set the example, and the parishioners could work on whatever they work on. So, yeah, I think it's, certainly could be an addition to the neighborhood or.
So the paint that is going into this project, is that all in the right of way area?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you for confirming that.
You're welcome.
Anything else on that day? It looks like we got a good plan.
Yeah, nope, I'll be there at 3, I think everybody else was coming at 3:30, sound like, you know, so
Okay.
whatever time you come would be great, I know Kathy's gonna come at 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Chief, will you be there?
I will be at the Budweiser event
Okay,
coordinating
sorry.
that operation.
Yep, okay.
I think this in your form should probably be used as a model moving forward about how these projects should be scripted out. This certainly aids, and then if you're planning this, you can simply check, or write
Right.
names, so this is a good model, so is that form.
What about a backup day? Is there a backup day?
June 14th worked out well for him.
In June 14th?
Mhm.
Same time?
Yes,
3:30?
uh-huh.
And that can also be utilized if it's, if we just don't get it all done too.
Correct, correct.
So,
So,
not only weather.
will you be able to bring whatever tools that we have then from here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'll write that down. And if somebody would let me know if they have an extra pressure,
I have an extension saw.
I can probably
you could
bring my
bring
pressure
that?
washer.
Okay, that would
Yeah.
be great. Okay, all right.
Thanks for putting this together.
You're welcome.
Has anybody responded to the volunteers for this event yet?
No.
To us? No? Okay.
Can I back up a minute? So will you be able to bring the paint then? The-
Yeah, we can-
The paint that we
Yeah,
have?
so, yeah, the next item I was, we can talk about the
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
So, but before we move on to volunteers, you know, like Mary had said, we need to keep pushing on volunteers and kind of getting them on the list. And even if they are through the church, we should work on trying to get them on our list.
Right. And I also think putting it on your own Facebook or somewhere, if you could.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, Mary, can you send that email out to everyone?
The-
Here?
I
So
don't,
that we
Oh,
can
yeah.
send it out personally, maybe?
Mhm.
Okay.
did we?
I don't
Put-
know if it
put it
went
on
on Facebook.
Okay.
I'll get Kelly to do that this
Oh,
morning.
okay.
Yeah, we should have that in our procedure there. When we send that email out, maybe we also send that as a Facebook post.
Okay.
Right, I think that's a good idea.
I didn't double check that.
Do you want me to send the email out again, just like as a reminder? This Thursday, we have a okay.
And
Who's
even
the
that
point
one
of
going on
contact?
Facebook would be great, I think.
Yeah, I'll send it to Kelly to put on
Who should they
Facebook.
reach out to if they're interested in volunteering? Who's the point of contact?
Usually in the email, it just says to RSVP to me. If
I
you're
would
coming.
recommend not RSVP, I mean, she works part-time.
That happened because,
Kelly.
previous.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
cast a
it was-
wider net, why don't we have someone from the commission so that
That's
we
later
don't
on.
miss any emails?
Right, that's why I put that on the agenda today.
You don't like
for
me
sure.
skipping ahead in the agenda? Is
No.
that the intention? But for this Facebook post, what I'm saying is, if you're interested in volunteering, contact whoever of the 401.
Should it be the project manager of that project, or should it just be you?
I think,
I wanted to have somebody dedicated to be that person.
Oh, okay.
And that
We'll
was.
discuss when we get down there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, moving on to equipment purchases. So our current fiscal year budget ends in like 3-4 weeks. And there's $560.25. I wrote down a few things that I think we should use that money for. The paint for the next event, and then obviously holding on to the remainder for future projects. A wheelbarrow would really be helpful, and that's around $150 from Gilroy's. It'd be good to stock up on some paintbrushes, and then some gloves as well.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna make a motion to use the remaining budget on those 4 items.
What about safety vests? Our previous ones were destroyed in the 2023 flood of the police department.
I forgot about that.
I would recommend this group add that to the list.
How much are those? Do we know? Just a rough estimate?
It was $56.96, and I think that was for 20 of them
Oh.
when we bought them the first
In
time.
bulk.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll amend my motion to,
Okay.
those 4 items and then also another 20 vests. And I can work with Chief and Mary on purchasing that stuff.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
Are you hoping to have these, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Lucas Richardson,
Yes.
Jermaine Sullivan,
yes.
Kathleen Grabowski,
Yes,
Mary Kay Wilkosh.
Yes.
Are you hoping to have these purchases made before our next project?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you and I can coordinate offline as far as who's going with me to the store.
Yep. Yep.
well, I was thinking that, like, I poured a half a gallon of paint on myself. Maybe I should have a hazmat. I was a mess. I had to go home and, don't get the visual, it's gross, but I had to strip in my garage.
That oil-based paint is tough to come off. It's tough.
Yeah.
It smells and, But you know what? We appreciate, you were out there doing it.
That's
That's what we
right.
appreciate.
You did a good
That's
job.
right.
All right, next item is, I just wanted to remind everybody about the additional meetings that we scheduled in the last meeting. So first and third Mondays now, right? Mary? Okay.
Yes.
So that was just a reminder. And then there might be a couple down the road that are conflicting with like a holiday that will just change in meetings ahead. Due to holidays and whatnot. Next item was, so a volunteer recruiter. So the point in this position, I think, is to try to be totally focused on trying to get volunteers to be on our list. And right now, it's been Mary and myself, Mary Dilworth and myself keeping a list. And then every time we have a project, we send out this email to the whole list to see if they're open to doing it. And before, Kelly was the person that was supposed to coordinate that, and she's no longer here. So I wanted to see if you'd be interested, Kathy, in taking that role on trying to recruit volunteers and coordinate with Mary.
Yeah.
So now,
I
when,
called the Knights of Columbus last night they're a Catholic organization. And I talked to Gary Shilsky and I talked to Timmy Kalinowski. And they're going to come, some of them are going to come, but their youngest members are 70. But Gary Shilsky's definitely coming, and Tim said he'd make some phone calls. And then, yeah, like you said, it was in the bulletin, because that's where Gary originally saw it.
Right.
And so that's just things like you want me to do is just,
Yeah, so I think the procedure should be, you should have like 50 of those volunteer waivers printed out. And,
Okay.
and then just try to get people to sign them, to give us their contact information. Coordinate that with Mary so she can add it to the list.
okay,
And then that way we can always let them know every single time and we don't forget to contact some people. So the
Okay.
goal would be to build that list to, you know, a couple hundred people. That'd be amazing.
I also asked the church about a youth group, but they do no longer have a youth.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
On the same conversation, the United Methodist Church as a youth group was looking for projects just like this. It doesn't quite jive with our policy on juvenile volunteers. Maybe this group might want to revisit that, or I don't know what we landed on that. I thought we had to be,
I think that you have to be 18 to use our equipment.
yeah,
They
so.
can still volunteer though.
Right.
Yeah,
For
the
COVID,
United
it's
Methodist
okay.
Church, I spoke with them yesterday, and they are looking for projects on June 12th and the 14th. They're looking for something to do. They could have up to 10 kids available, so whoever this coordinator is, I can put them in touch with Jennifer at the United Methodist. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't work out, maybe it's a future resource, I don't know, but I know
Well, it
this-
sounds like our second,
Next one.
well, June 14th
Right.
is our second date, so I mean, we can just reach out to them and,
See what we have?
yeah.
Okay.
Is that that was the email you sent me, right? About the Methodist group? Okay. I think, put them in touch with you, Mary, if this is your project, so I'll send you
I
that.
won't do anything until after.
Until after,
Yeah.
see what we have left, yeah. But regardless, we can maybe get their supervisor or whoever's in charge of that group
Yeah,
to
her name
be
is
on our
Her name is
list.
Jennifer Outman. I have her information. If I can follow up with you.
We should just put her on the volunteer list then.
I would talk to her first, yeah, and see how to approach that.
All right, next item was,
I think the volunteer list though, that like we were talking about, when you do a social media post, I think the contact person should be the project person, so if they call, they can say, you know, what we're doing.
I see. So when we have a project, dedicate
okay.
the project manager to be the contact, but then for just general recruiting, put,
yes.
okay,
Cause I think that splits it up a little bit.
yeah. Trying to get volunteers, obviously, we're just trying to diversify our delegate everything. Sorry, anything else?
Nope, that was it.
And Chief, so I sent an email to you on this, but I think a recurring thing on when I make these agendas is gonna be about the police department blight projects, blight remediation projects, if maybe that could be coordinated with the officers to just kind of give them a reminder every single time we have a meeting to think about if there's anything going on to.
Well, we still have the two projects we haven't been able to provide solutions for. We've tried, we've swung a couple different times in providing assistance in filling out applications, but both things struck out. So, you know, we tried the land bank on these two private residences, but they wanted unoccupied residences, and we tried some other financial paths and struck out there. So I think we have two existing homes that this commission has already approved to try to find resources for. I think we continue on that path. We can certainly, I can send an email to the officers to see if there's something similar. And just to confirm, we're looking at owner occupied residences where the owner is determined to not be able to financially or physically remedy the blight. Is that still consistent with what the commission wants to see?
I think so.
Okay, just checking, that's what we established last year.
Because all the other situations are gonna be going through the blight enforcement process, correct?
They have.
Right.
Chief, you were gonna reach out to Tracy Davis last time to see exactly how she could fit in to our blight with the program that she's working on. Did you have a chance to do that, or?
We had a brief conversation. I'd like to have her come. She's great. I'd like to have her come if she will and have a conversation so each commissioner can bounce questions off her. I know she presented before,
Right.
but do you want to invite her? Or would you like me
A bit further ahead on what she was working
Okay.
on now.
So let me reach out to her and invite her to the next meeting.
Perfect.
Put her on the agenda once we confirm it. And that way, if each commissioner can ask questions and see, these are overlapping services, see what we can do there.
Okay, perfect.
And while we're on the funding type discussion too, I did reach out to the Muskegon community, what's it called? Community and Neighborhood Services, and I'm gonna try to set up a meeting with the person who set that up to try to see what we can do to
Perfect.
implement something similar or something to start here in Manistee.
Perfect.
But I just wanted you to know, Chief, that I was gonna keep putting this on the agenda. You know, the more and more summer approaches here, I'm seeing a lot more junk, you know, sitting in driveways, and even somebody on my street has junk in a trailer sitting in their driveway. Like, just
Right.
bring it to the dump, that's all you gotta do.
Well, you know, there are some different types of grants out there, and I've been kind of working on it, but I have to know, are we considered a nonprofit through the city, or are we for profit?
We're not a nonprofit. We
So,
have a budget with city taxpayer
that's what I thought, so,
dollars.
okay. So, because we're under the umbrella of the city. So I have to figure that.
Which, as you know, could be more of a hamstring as far as grant funding.
Yeah,
Most of it's out there.
okay.
Chairman, just your comment, you're right, summertime, a lot of junk is out there. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there, at the time we see it, because we're all at our houses. The type of blight that monopolizes the vast majority of our officers' time is structural blight. Understand when our staffing dips, as it is dipped now, we're not gonna have the resources to enforce at a level that might meet certain people's expectations. I've been in communication with the city manager of what that path looks like moving forward for structural blight, because when you're talking about houses, these are the houses that it takes months and years to work on to try to find a solution. You have a permitting process, you have a financial process, you have a rental inspection process, and then you have a blight enforcement process. Years and years and years ago, the city had an employee that did all of those things, and it was a smoother process. Now the police are charged with enforcing blight, so they have to coordinate with Safe Built, and then rental inspection. So it's a very labor intensive. So I hope to continue to work with the city manager on strategies to develop options for structural blight. But that is overwhelmingly what eats a lot of our officers' time, especially a structural blight that continues to change owners. That's a moving target and hard to nail down. So our officers do a great job. We're going to continue, but we also have to see what we can develop strategies to be a little more efficient what happens. And so, as you can imagine, well, as we've seen in the last 3 years, we have houses that we've had enforcement on for 3 years that through the court process, it's been consuming of time. So, yeah.
How did our dumpster program go there? Was it pretty full?
It was
I was
half
told it
full.
was half full.
Okay, well, that's.
And we sent letters out to, do you have an approximation of how many addresses? We sent personal letters out to.
Yeah, it was
I think it had to have been almost 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20 to 30.
And then our officers who have junk, cases in other parts of the city told them to bring it.
Okay.
It's the horse to water analogy a little bit, right? Junk and you can just transport it, and some people have just chosen not to, but in terms of effectiveness, we provided a dumpster for people to get rid of some junk, some blight. So
Good.
I hats off to, Allied Republic. Hats off to them and their contribution to this commission and to our community. I thought that was a big jump for them, and so, I think maybe that's something we could explore in the future, or decide we don't want to explore, depending on how this commission feels, but kudos to them.
All right. Any more on blight?
It's not really blight, but I think, well, it kinda is. I think we need to go back to reporting brush and long grass. I think it's slipping again, so I think our areas, send Katie a email with the addresses. 'Cause there's, brush piles that have been sitting there for some few months now.
Okay.
Something I think we talked about last year is the high grass in the right of way. And I think my understanding it's this property owner's responsibility to cut that grass. I will tell you, aside from structural blight, like run down houses, that's the second most visible impacting thing in a neighborhood. I don't know if this commission has an appetite to look at high visibility areas and say, okay, we know this grass is gonna grow back in a week or 2 weeks, but maybe look at that again, with my recommendation. Usually on my lunch break, I drive around looking at things, and just, and the feedback I get from the public is that really impacts their, their view of a neighborhood as well.
Right.
So, when that's cut, it certainly feels different, right? When it's cut, it looks nice, so maybe something to explore there.
I think that's what you're getting to too, is just go around the neighborhood, and if you see noxious weeds, just report it.
Okay.
And we have the website, did we ever put that out there for people to?
The C-Click Fix thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's open to the public, anybody can use
I
it.
think she's saying, are we advertising it anywhere?
Oh.
Are we doing anything?
I know the city has put that out there a few times, I think it might have got to the newspaper one time too, I can't remember,
Well,
but,
that could be one of our posts, like if
Exactly.
we do a
Yeah.
post like every other week with our name on it, that can be one of them.
just maybe, C-Click, use C-Click Fix if you see noxious weeds, and,
You don't even need to do that, just put, NRPC, put the app there, and be like, download the app, it has.
Everything in it?
okay.
And then, Lucas, did you say you're going to meet with the person in Muskegon or have them come to a meeting?
I haven't been able to talk to them yet. I talked to the front desk, and the person in charge is supposed to call me back, so. But it seemed like they were open to communicate. All right, public comment. All right, good to the order. Jermaine, you wanna go first?
I don't have anything.
Kathy?
How is my project in the future coming on 9th and Cypress? Did we determine if that was city properties?
From by the car wash.
Yeah, above the car wash, or this, north of the car wash.
I'm not sure if that's city property, I don't know.
If someone can grab me and show me, I need to physically
I
see
think I
it.
was supposed to pull that up and I forgot about it.
No.
I don't remember right now what you're talking about.
If you show us the parcel, we can get an answer probably in short notice. What's the issue there?
Well, there's just a lot of dead stuff in there, like dead trees and stuff. I was just gonna clean it out to the road, and then I was going to clean everything out and then weed whack and mow and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Let me get with you to make sure I know exactly what parcel you guys you're talking about, and then I should be able to get an answer pretty shortly on that. Yeah.
Alright,
That way you'll know for, yeah.
yeah.
What about that, where that bushes are planted and you can't hardly see when you come up to Ninth to go onto the.
Oh, around the
line?
city sign.
Yeah, the city sign and all that.
Ninth and where?
Did you see farther up the road? When you go, you're headed east,
Yep.
you stop at Ninth and Cypress. And then the big bushes right here.
Okay.
And they've talked about that for years, of moving it back or doing something, cutting it back, and it's never been cut back.
Oh, let me take I need to physically see. I'll take a look at it today. and
Where the
see what
sign
project
is?
Yeah, I thought maybe I could make that part of the project too, kind of clean up around that side.
Are you talking about the sign?
Yeah.
So there is a city project right now,
Oh.
that we're designing new entrance signs. Spicer Group is designing new entrance signs for the city. One's gonna go down by, Family Fair in that area, and then also on the north side over by, Great Lakes Natural Resources where that old sign used to be. So those are new signs, and I'm still waiting to see how that's gonna plan out, cause that could also be something that our group, helps plant
Sure.
and puts our
Yeah.
name
That's
on
a great-
that.
That's a great idea.
And a part of that project is actually to clean up that old sign, the Manistee
I thought we
Historic
could
sign
do
at
that
Ninth
too
and
at my
Cypress.
project.
Okay,
You know, 'cause it's right across the street, go over there and just, it is, when it grows out, it's hard to see if cars are coming that way.
well, right, yeah, that plan, I think, is actually to re-landscape that. So some of those trees might not be there anymore, or bushes.
Oh,
This is
But
a
in
great,
the meantime, we could just clean
In
it
the
so you can
meantime,
see, you know.
right.
this is a great reminder when we have these conversations for every meeting. I'm gonna bring up GIS, which is our mapping system, so when we have these conversations, I can just zoom in what we're talking about. So thank you for the opportunity for that reminder, but every meeting I should have GIS up there, so we can physically see a map in southwest corner, northwest corner. We can see projects, so
Right.
this
Good
service
idea.
meeting serves as a great reminder of that.
So it sounds like you need more information on that one, but just, I guess work with Chief on that one, if you're
As to-
wondering about your project.
Okay, thank you.
As that time comes up. So what did we say, August? Yeah, August. Mary, you have anything?
We don't have a project in July then, correct? We skipped it?
No, that's my project.
Oh, that's your project?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and I'll bring,
Okay, sure.
I'm waiting to see if we can be involved in that entrance sign and the
Okay.
timing of it.
Okay,
And if it works out, will be
That's
most
good.
likely in my project, but, if not, I'll find something. There's
Okay,
plenty to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I just wanted to thank anybody that came to Jim, for your volunteer each time. I appreciate that, so. That's all I have.
People don't realize the level of commitment until you're out there sweating and giving up your summer evenings, how big of a commitment that is, so yeah,
Yeah.
well said.
Chief, you have anything?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mary?
No.
All right, I had a typo on the next meeting. It's actually June 19th.
Fixed it.
All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.